Huh?
Look at him coming.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
And here comes Soxy. Soxy likes her attention.
Come here.
You just got snubbed.
Yeah, I did, but Buddy came right to me.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Hey, everybody. Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Thursday. It is the 20th of May, 2021. We have hit 90 degrees today, so it's been quite warm. And obviously, as you see, Miss Heather is here.
I'm here.
So we're going to come over here. We're going to sit down. We'll sit on this end over here, Heather. All right, so what we're going to do here. So first of all, I have my Nowhere Oklahoma muscle shirt on that was given to me one of my subscribers. So thank you for that. All right, so I wanted to do like an interview with you to get a take on a college student's perspective of what's this last year been like for college. What you think of the whole thing with the mandatory vaccines going into the fall, and like the mental state of if you're, how you're seeing it from your own perspective, and also from the perspective of the people like that you work with, and the other college students. So let's go with. I'm just going to ask questions, and I'll just have you answer.
Okay.
Okay. So how did you find this last year of college overall? How did you find that? Not being in class, having to do stuff online.
I guess the best way I could put it is pretty pathetic. It's been really pathetic, just that everyone that I know skipped their classes all the time, wouldn't even go, and then like just look up all the answers for the tests. And it's like tons of people did that, and no one's really learning. The teachers weren't as into it. It's just not very fun at all.
So it's obviously not the same as being in person and in class. And so you're finding that a lot of your fellow students just basically played around, blew the year off.
Yeah, and even if we did have an in-class component, a lot of people would just opt to do the online anyways. So the in-class, or in-person stuff would be like 2 people.
Wow.
So,
Now, I read an article, and it said that depression amongst college students is up like 41%. So what is your take on that from obviously a college student's perspective? Do you see where more people are depressed because of not being able to interact with their peers and being, that socialization and stuff like that? What are you seeing?
Well, I see that tons of people are depressed. Like, I go into work and we all agree that, that's the only time we ever get to talk is when we're at work. It's just really sad. Everyone's really isolated. No one is motivated. And then it was also, the winter, so that sucked. And everyone's just really down. They're not able to connect with their friends like they wanted to. We can't go out and do things. We're in our houses all the time. It's just very isolating, and you're going to be depressed because humans are social creatures.
Right. Now, the other thing that I was going to say, I know that, as a freshman, you were part of the curling team. And obviously, they were not able to do that this year. So so sports were pretty much almost out completely, weren't they?
Yeah, I couldn't do the curling at all, and that sucked.
So, how did that make you feel that they, didn't have the curling at all this year?
Well, I understand for the curling club because we go to a different curling club. It's not on the campus. We go somewhere else, and it's predominantly older folks there. So I do understand not having college students go in and interact there.
Right.
But it's still wow, I really wanted to be able to do what I like, and you can only do it in the winter, so
right.
Just missed a year of, one of my hobbies.
Yeah, and that sucks too, because I know that you enjoyed that. So let's go to this question here. When it comes to they've decided to make this vaccine mandatory, I want to get your perspective, and then I want to hear what your feedback you're getting from other people on campus and stuff like that. So let's go with your perspective of it first.
Well, first I am a little bit hesitant, about it because it is, again, an early, first rolling it out, and vaccines usually take over 10 years to go and manufacture and perfect. So I am a little bit suspicious of, this kind of seems like a money grab for some people, although they are doing it for free, but government funding. And
So it's pharmaceuticals are getting paid.
yeah. So that part's a little bit suspicious. You know, and my boyfriend is a type 1 diabetic, so he is at risk of, like, if he were to get COVID, it might, severely impact him. So I want to avoid getting the vaccine because I've heard people have gotten sick, and we don't want to get sick from it and, die that way. So we're
Well,
just really wary of it.
I mean, one of the like I said, for me, one of the concerns that I had, and there's no long-term study of it,
Yeah.
is the side effects long-term.
Yeah, they can't know
They
that.
they can't know that because they've never done any studies. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that are getting the vaccine are basically the experiment.
Yeah.
And for myself, as a parent, that's very disheartening. And the to me, the fact that if you get it at your age, your chances of survival is 99.9. So to have something that is an emergency release, not an approved FDA vaccine, and even if it was an FDA approved vaccine, I would still have my concerns, especially when you have no liability for the pharmaceutical companies. And so the thing that I would ask, and I will be asking with the college, are they willing to take up that liability by forcing these kids to have that? Now, I will say this right out. We have no intention of having Heather get this vaccine to be able to continue with college. So we are in the process of opting out of that. So that is definitely going to be our stance with that because of everything. So,
And you had asked about how other people at the school feel.
yes.
And so already we were doing weekly COVID tests, which was no big deal. But most people that I know have already gotten the vaccine.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, like I'm probably the only person at my work that hasn't gotten it. So
So a lot of them have just gone ahead and done it just because they want to get it out of the way and don't want to have to deal with it.
yeah.
And now, are they getting it because they feel like it's going to protect them, or are they getting it because they have to?
Well, I think for some people it's because they want to feel protected by it, and that's their method of doing that. For other people, I think it's like, oh, well, it's required, might as well just do it.
I gotcha. So you're one of the few.
I guess so.
Well, that's all right.
Because, like, I'm not totally against getting it, like, later. If, like, once it's, proven, like, to actually help, if it ever is, then I'd be willing to get it, just not right now.
Well, and that makes sense. And that, what? And that's an honest answer, and I appreciate that. And that's, I always want you to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't always agree with you, which is fine. And that's the beauty of like our relationship. And the thing is, I think if more people had this kind of mindset, you can agree to disagree and still get along and still respect each other. I think that's a big part of it. So, like I said, I've told people, if you feel like you need to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, you have that right.
I think that we should have a choice as the student populace to, like, opt in or opt out. Because it was a student vote that led to us having mandatory vaccines, but, that's also, like, student government going to be more liberal-siding people.
Right.
So, we've had scandals with that. But, I just want to wait. That's all.
And that, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm in no rush. Especially since I've been following all the protocols. I wear my mask when I go out and about, and I've been fine. I know people that have gotten COVID, and usually they were the people that were going out partying. So, I just stay in, I don't do anything, and I'm not at risk.
Well, it's like up here being low profile, and really, where do I go? I go to town. I go to the grocery store. I go to Lowe's. That's pretty much it. Not going crazy, out and about. But all right. So let's see. Any other things you'd like to share as far as the college experience with this whole situation?
I don't know. I mean, working as, like, a student worker, that's interesting because, we have to wear our masks all the time, which that's no big deal for me. But then we have, like, those plastic divider things, and we can't hear people, and people are mumbling, and that just makes it really annoying. And I don't know, I feel like the school that I go to has not been as wonderful with their protocols like they claim that they have.
Well, and again, it's an honest answer. And the fact that what you're dealing with at RIT, there's a large deaf population.
Yeah.
So when you have your mask on, they can't read your lips.
Yeah, they do have masks that have the clear panel, but then you have to, like, do certain stuff to prep it so it doesn't fog up, and people don't want to do that. So usually people will have, like, their phone and they'll tell me their order.
The deaf folks?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do. And, I've picked up some sign language for, like, the stuff that I have to make. I can just know it now. But otherwise, it is difficult, especially for the deaf folks, because that really narrows down how much they can interact with people.
Right.
It is so based on facial expressions, and a big part of sign is, again, like, what you're doing with your face and your hands. And, if you're covering half your face, and it's taking away a big part of, the experience. Come on, you're in the way.
She was like, I don't care. She was like, just pet me.
There's our cat sighting for today.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your insight and sharing that information. I'm sure people wanted, to hear that and to see what it's been like for the last year. And
Not been fun.
no. Now, when they were doing the major lockdowns of everything and really restricting people, like I said, I know psychologically that's done, in my opinion, irreversible damage to a lot of people. Because it's like, you have a lot of people that are not strong-willed like we are. And so there are a lot of more weak-minded people that can't handle that. And so I think that that's really had a huge adverse effect on a lot of people. And the fact that the suicide rate is through the roof. And like I said, depression is up exponentially. And, it's just not a good thing overall.
Well, it's stressful, especially for people that have children that, they can't send their kids to daycare and they have to stay home, and it impacts, their socioeconomic issues.
And then I will say this too. You've had a tremendous amount of increase in divorces.
Yeah. Well, people actually have to deal with one another now.
Right, because they're seeing each other all the time in their home, and they're realizing that they don't really like that partner.
Yeah.
And so I know that a friend of mine I was talking about, he was going through a divorce, and his lawyer had said to him that if you don't really need to get this divorce, then maybe you should hold off. He was turning people away.
Yeah.
That's how busy as a divorce lawyer he was, because so many people had decided that was it, and they didn't want to do it anymore. So, and that's a direct result of this as well.
Yeah.
When you have to deal with that person on an everyday basis, 24 hours a day, it gives you a different perspective when you're working and you can get out and you can, socialize with other people and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden you're locked at home with each other, and you better find out if you like each other or not.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. I just kind of wanted to get that college student's perspective of this whole situation, and I do appreciate that, because it's like I can't answer those questions because I'm not in college, So anyway, guys, we're going to jump off here for right now, and I'm going to be doing another video a little bit later, and I'll get that up as well. But I appreciate Heather sharing her time with us and sharing her insight, and that has been awesome. So remember, folks, we are all in this together. That is important. We are one race called the human race, and as soon as we can focus on that, I think we're going to be in much, much better shape. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen, so it's really important we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching those goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right, I will see you all later. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1
And Heather.
I was going to say it. I'm out for now.
Here, I'll get a good socks shot for the closing.